From October to November every year is the purple rain season in Sydney, as the city is always seemingly covered in some sort of purplish blue haze from none other than the Jacaranda blossom. Jacarandas are absolutely everywhere in Sydney. They are at Circular Quay, they are at the university, and there's even one across the street of my unit. But none are more famous than the Jacaranda Tunnel at Madougall Street, Kirabili. During the Jacaranda season, thousands of tourists descend upon Madougall Street and take photos slap bang right in the middle of the street, causing chaos to local traffic. And today, I will be one of those tourists.
Hello everyone. Today I've come to check out the very famous Jacaranda Tunnel at Kirabili. I'm actually at Neutral Bay now, and we're just gonna walk up there to Kirabili, which is like not too far away, probably a few hundred meters or more. So in this area here, we have our typical residential street in North Sydney. Very narrow, very windy, and very steep. Sure, it's very charming and all that, but it's a killer to walk, and also a killer to drive and to park. Let me tell you that.
From where we park at Neutral Bay, we took Hipwood Street, going a southwest direction towards Madougall Street. While it's a short walk, you will actually be crossing 3 suburbs.
So if you can see all the Jacaranda down there, that is the famous McDougall Street of Kirabili, which has attracted so much attention from people coming here, taking photos and putting on Instagram. So you see all the tourists lining up.
Here we have another view of the street, which is taken from the roundabout near the west end of Madougall Street, where Clark Road on the left and Broughton Street on the right meets. Again, we have very charming and classy terrace houses around with lovely sandstone walls, as well as the little streets packed full of cars, which is also typical of northern suburbs of Sydney. Walking around Madougall Street, it is obvious that they are right. The real attraction of this place really is the Jacaranda Tunnel. How the Jacaranda blossoms blanket over the entire street is really beautiful and magical in a way that it makes responsible adults go mad and endanger themselves by taking crazy shots in the middle of the street.
Nice.
The Jacaranda blossoms smell really nice too. Well, I'm very bad in describing smells, so it is really too bad that we still don't have the technology to transmit smell over video. I do think the fact that there are pretty much trees on both sides, as well as the fact that it is a narrow little street, help the formation of the famous Jacaranda Tunnel. Can you imagine if this were to be a 6-lane motorway? If that's the case, even if there were trees on both sides, you would never ever get this kind of impressive visual impact. There are signs like this from the council reminding people to take care while taking photos of themselves. While the signs are kind of cool and the design kind of blends into the whole Jacaranda theme, however, judging from what I saw on that day, I dare to say that no one really paid any attention to the sign at all. The fact that we don't have any accidents all comes down to the very patient motorists who drive through the street. So a big thumbs up to them. Next to McDougall Street is Museum Park, and the waterfront at the far end of the park is part of Neutral Harbor. So at this point, I was just gonna walk down there and have a look at those fancy boats at the marina. I'm just looking back at Museum Park and McDougall Street from the waterfront. It was a very windy day on that day, so that's probably why we see all these people coming out with their sailing boat. The blue building coming into view with a very nice outdoor pontoon seating area is a restaurant called the Flying Bear. Their website looks very nice, but it wasn't where we ate on that day, so probably one of these days I'll come back and check it out. Now to the left is Kirabili Marina, which is a privately owned marina that provides berthing spaces for rent to the rich owners of all these fancy boats that you're looking at. For lunch, we went to the Barvarian and Manly Wharf, which is the restaurant on the left coming into view now. From Kirabili, it's about another half an hour drive to Manly Wharf. The restaurant itself is sort of a German beer house, which is famous for its wheat beer and German dishes. Manly Wharf faces Sydney Harbour, so the beach that you are seeing now is not the famous Manly Beach, which is located at the north end of the suburb opposite to the wharf. Now we are seeing the clock tower and the main entrance to the wharf. This is where you will go through if you want to catch the ferry, and there are also some shops inside.
So we are just at the Barvarians, but because I was too lazy to book before, we are not allowed to dine in. And so we have to settle sitting outside, which is actually not too bad. And luckily, the weather's alright today.
So at this point, me and my sister had been sitting at the table for a good 10 minutes, but no one came to take our orders. Feeling very unloved, I ventured indoor and lodged my protest to the bartender, just to be told that we have to use the tissue box on the table like this one to order. It has an RFID tag and a QR code which take you to their menu site, where you can then order with your credit card. Clearly, it's part of their COVID-safe plan to cut down the contact between their staff and customers. However, I'm just thinking this is just so old people unfriendly. Like our parents, who despite of having credit card and know how to use smartphones, but still buys everything with cash and refuse to carry credit card with them. So once we've gotten over the hurdle of the very peculiar COVID-safe ordering process, this was our lunch. We've ordered one salad, 2 pretzels, a pork knuckle as the main course. For drinks, since I was driving, so I just shared one 500ml mango beer with my sister to keep it under the limit. The mango beer has to be one of my all-time favorite of this place, as I find it to be very refreshing and tasty. Somehow the flavor of mango juice and German wheat beer just goes so well together. The salad was dry and really wasn't very good, so I couldn't even be bothered to take a photo of it. The pretzels were pretty good. On the outside, they were crispy and had a nice caramel taste to it, while being chewy and soft on the inside. However, the frozen ones from Aldi's store come pretty close to it and heaps cheaper too. Pork knuckles was excellent. The crackling was very crispy, which was just superb, and it was very fun to just cut into it and listen to the sound of it cracking. The meat inside was very tender and well seasoned all the way to the bones. It was served with creamy potatoes and sour cabbage. While I'm not a big fan of both of them, but to be fair, I found them to be well executed and I wouldn't mind eating them at all. You can't see it in the photo, but it was also served with cinnamon apple sauce with actual apple pieces inside, which was actually very good. However, the problem was that there were just way too little of it. The serving of this dish was so big and we weren't able to finish everything in the end. The bill came to be $38 per person. While this is not exactly food court price, but I think given the setting and the kind of food, it's still quite reasonable.